What's up guys, welcome back to another video, it's lgbt here, and today we're going to be reacting to The Truth About Trans People by Icky. Apparently this person, I think, knows f1nn5ter, because f1nn5ter's in this video. See, there's f1nn5ter, and then there's Icky right there. So, okay, so this is about the truth about trans people. I got a King Critical recommendation over here about Jamie Dodger right here, but, I actually, okay, okay, let's react to the video, okay? I just have things going through my mind right now, that's why I'm kind of like, you know, I can explain, I swear, you know, anyway, let's get into the video.
Ease into this.
Heard that one before.
Yeah.
This probably be like a response / reaction, I guess.
I'm really excited for this video. Somebody made a video about me. The title is Trans Influencers and the AGP to Trans Pipeline.
Oh, okay, by the way, AGP is gynephilia, by the way.
This is gonna be,
which I think is when like a man gets excited dressing in like women's clothing or like looking like a woman or something. So I think that's what it is.
be really fun. I've never had anyone make a weird 4chan video about me.
I watched a little bit of this and Ashley didn't.
Is it bad?
It's like
Mr. Metaphysical or whatever the f you were saying earlier.
you're letting him like strawman you there. He changed your point.
Okay, by the way, I think both of these people are trans people. They're both trans male to female. So they're both. Actually, no. Actually, what's interesting? You know what's interesting? Actually, now that I just realized this. I noticed that. People will, like, trans people will say, like, oh, there's like, sex and gender are different things, right? And so, and they'll say that, like, a man can be a woman, right? But, like, a man is not the same thing as a male, or a woman is not the same thing as a female, or something. But then they'll say, like, oh, I'm transgender, male to female, as if you can actually physically change your sex. I guess they might think that in the sense where, like, okay, you get the surgery, right, and then you transition, but I mean, technically, you don't. It's not always used in that way either. People use it, I think, for like when they're just saying I'm transgender, just to say they're man to woman, but they'll just say M to F, male to female. I think anyway. But let's continue.
There's no good faith. Just every time I say something, he's like, she just admitted it. What? I know that this is probably gonna suck a little bit. They're gonna say mean things, and you may get.
Okay, so you're already coming. So keep in mind. Okay, I noticed this. Okay, Icky comes in immediately, assuming the worst, assuming that there's not going to be anything good to say. I understand that feeling. I can understand this feeling as somebody who's like obviously reacted to, or responded to people like trans people videos before, right? Or like, you know, because like people like a lot of people who are trans and LGBT allies will call you transphobic if you simply disagree with them. They'll just say you're transphobic and everything, and so I understand where, well, not from the exact same perspective, but like I understand where Icky might be coming from when it comes to like assuming negative things about what's going to happen watching the video, especially if I don't know if I don't think Icky or f1nn5ter really responds or reacts to videos often. So I think this is like this is the first thing I'm aware of either one of them responding to a video or reacting to a video like this. So I think, so I mean, this is probably the first time, so like, you know, it's kind of like that meme where it's like first time, and it's like okay, there's this guy, I don't know where it's from, but like, there's this guy that's like about to get like hanged, and like, and there's like, you know, and he's looking at this other guy's like first time, you know, he says like first time, because like this guy apparently, I don't know exactly the context behind it, but it's like that meme. Anyway,
Upset, but please don't harass them because that is lame and we don't want that. Are you ready?
okay, at least they're like, don't harass this person, right? At least that's like, at least I have like some morals in that area. I'm not saying, okay, no, I don't want to be, I'm just, you know, I don't want to be like saying that, oh, trans people don't have morals or anything, but I mean, that's not what I'm saying, just, you know.
Yes.
Let's go.
That's the wrong one, babe.
I accidentally.
Also interesting. Yeah. He's okay. He just called f1nn5ter just called Icky babe. So I'm assuming they're dating. I've seen them. I think on some like the video covers. Like actually together. Like they've like had some like I don't know collabs or whatever. Like they've been on each other's thing. They're also at the same. They're on the same house too. So I assume they know each other quite well enough to be in each other's like house, or like in a house together, like to actually be in person. So I'm assuming they're dating. So there's two trans male to females dating. I think two men dating. So.
Click the wrong thing.
Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ray. I'm a detransition male. I'm going to be talking about egg culture and online trans. Ray, I'm a detransition male. I'm going to be talking about.
Okay. I want to actually. Okay, I want to see this guy's video now, because, especially because he said. Okay, he said he's a detransitioned male. I think. So he detransitioned. He was trans at one point. Right? I think so. I don't know this. So, like, this is new, guys.
About egg culture in online trans communities, particularly among trans-identified males.
10 seconds in. Not bad.
I didn't know this was like an incel video.
And how this egg
Incel video. How is it? I think he said trans-identified male. So he means trans women, male to female trans women, right? Basically. Trans-identified male is basically just saying like a male, a biological male that identifies as trans, right? So that would be like a trans woman, and a trans-identified female would be like a trans man, right? Like, so that's kind of like the terms here, just so you guys know.
Culture is driving trans-identified males who have autogynephilia.
Also,
Gynephilia.
is a term coined by Blanchard for a male's propensity to be
A male's propensity, whatever that means, propensity, right, to be sexually aroused by the thought of himself as a female. What do you guys think about this? Is this what, like, I'm not saying, okay, is this something that a lot of trans people, or at least a decent portion of trans people, you guys think actually have? Because I mean, I doubt it's all of them. Okay, I don't think it's all of them. Right? But I think that it could be some. It could be some of them. I think. Like, I mean, Finster's trans now, right? And I think so. And but the interesting thing is, before, like, at some point, he was, he wasn't trans, right? And he was dressing up as a woman for like a long time, and then all of a sudden he becomes trans, right? So all of a sudden he starts to become trans, like, he says and then he's making a bunch of videos being trans, right? So. And that's interesting, because it's like, okay, well, this person had, okay, I don't know, correlation doesn't equal causation, but it does seem to be a little suspicious that he had dressed as a woman and experienced kind of a lot of things as a woman before he decided to become trans, or before he said he was trans. So, before he came out. So, I mean, maybe he could have been trans before, but, like, I guess, but he went by he pronouns before. Now I think he goes by she, but, like, basically, I think that, because I was like scrolling Finster's, I have another tab up here with Finster's like channel here too. I'm gonna, because I was scrolling on Finster's videos, you know, and there's a lot of them are being trans now. Like a lot of things about Icky's channel, and also Finster's channel has a lot of things about being trans. Icky more so than Finster, I think, but. Both of them have a lot of content about being trans, and here's the thing. What I noticed, okay, actually, I'm gonna mention this later, I guess, but because now might not be the best time. But
be sexually aroused by the thought of himself as a female.
Oh, so it's like all trans people are just like a fetish thing. Is
Right.
that the point?
well, okay, I don't think that's like. I don't think he's automatically saying from here. I don't think he's saying that. Okay, well, all trans people are clearly are like this, right? I mean. I think that it's probably maybe that, and then some other things, like maybe it's like people being confused of like, not okay. I don't have all the statistics for all this. I don't know what, like, okay, this is just like speculation, but like I also think some of it's also like people being like confused by like what, like not actually knowing what makes somebody a woman. So like basically the standard of being a woman is so low, it's basically unfalsifiable. Just like, or at least it's, you know, to some extent. So basically, anyone can be a woman if they just, you know, and it's so vague. Like, oh, if you identify as a woman, then you're a woman. Well, what does identify as a woman mean? Like, how do you just identify as a woman? And first of all, what is a woman, right? I mean, of course, I recognize that there are people, so as activists and other people who, with better definitions than of a woman than this, which is a circular definition, right? But a lot of people do like to, I think, use this one where it's like a woman is someone who identifies as a woman. But there are other definitions as well, right? And perhaps I'll react to those in other videos as well. Perhaps I will respond to those if I can find some in other videos. But anyway, I think it's also like people that it could be other things other than this too, but also like I think gender dysphoria could be a real thing, especially since like I mean, but I don't know if it could. I don't know if it's like most of the time. It could be confused a lot. I think with like puberty because it keep like people say like, oh, if you feel uncomfortable in your body as like a male or whatever, and you want to be a female, like then you're if you feel uncomfortable in your body, then you're clearly a transgender person, right? Then you're clearly a female if you're a male and that's the case and you're a female. But the thing is with that is like a lot of people who are trans I think are like teenagers, they're younger people, right? And what happens when you go through puberty? You start they say as you're supposed to like you might feel uncomfortable in your body and you might feel changes, right? So like that's like what you kind of hear. It's like well what if it's like it could just be I guess a phase in some senses sometimes. I'm not saying all the time because older people who identify as trans, those 20-year-old people that identify as trans. So maybe that could be a hormonal issue, or maybe that just might be them, or other things, or gynephilia, whatever other thing it could be. But I mean, I'm not saying it's all just one thing. It could be many things, right, causing this. But I mean, I think that it's also a possibility that like people are confusing being uncomfortable in their own body because of puberty as them actually being born in the wrong body and actually supposed to be the opposite sex or opposite gender. So, anyway.
I'm going to cut in.
Dang, I'm only 1 minute and 24 seconds in here.
And instantly.
We've made it 18 seconds.
We've made it 18 seconds in. Cis women get turned on by thinking about themselves in sexual situations. Trans women get turned on by thinking about themselves in sexual situations.
Yeah.
What's the difference? The difference is just saying, like, that's not a woman, they're a man. So them being turned on as a woman is wrong. But they are.
Well, okay, wait. What? Like, okay, this doesn't make any sense because autogynephilia isn't just a man being, or isn't just a man being, excited, like getting excited while thinking about himself in a sexual situation. It's a specific sexual situation of him being a woman, right? So you can't just leave that out there. You can't just leave that out there. You can't just you can't say, well, oh, okay, you can't just equivocate those two things when they're different. Might be equivocation, I don't know, but like I gotta do more research on like fallacies and stuff. I want to learn more about that as well, and I'm gonna learn more about philosophical arguments, philosophical things, terms, and I'm also gonna learn more about like I'm also gonna try to read the Bible more too as well. But I also want to learn more, like actually start getting into more statistics as well, or like actual research, so I can actually bring evidence to the table, especially when it comes to like my conversations with people and when it comes to responding to people as well. But anyway, let's continue.
A woman, so they're just turned on.
This Black Friday.
Add. Just gonna mute it real quick. Let's skip
them into this false,
but they are a woman, so they're just turned on.
Indoctrinating them into this false idea that their gender confusion is at the root of all their issues, and that somehow transitioning is going to solve all their problems.
I don't think...
Like what he's saying here is like, okay, if you have gender dysphoria, the solution to that is transitioning. Because the solution to you feeling not comfortable in your body isn't actually to affirm you how you actually are and how you were born, but it's actually to say that you're the opposite gender, opposite sex, right? And you're born in the wrong body, and it's actually to transition you into something different, make you something different, so to affirm your belief rather than your actual biology, and then to say that affirming your belief is actually affirming who you truly are. That's kind of what's going on here, right?
That transitioning solved any of my problems besides the trans ones.
Yeah, pretty much.
I still have...
I don't think that's what he's saying. He's kind of using maybe hyperbole, going, well, it's going to solve all your problems related to being trans. Like, it's going to solve all your problems about you feeling uncomfortable, or it's going to solve maybe your mental health problems. Because the reason why you have issues mental health is because you're struggling with, like, gender dysphoria and stuff, and so that's why you might have depression or something like that. I don't like, or it might just pertain to gender dysphoria issues, I guess. But I mean, I don't think he's saying literally all your problems. I mean that would be a little bit far if he was saying that. I highly doubt he's saying that. But
I had to take ADHD medication years later. I still
Still have to go to therapy, stuff to do.
still had therapy about non-trans related issues.
Antidepressants.
Yeah, I'm definitely happier, but that's because like I am more comfortable as a person.
Yeah. You could have done all the things.
so more comfortable as a person. So, I mean, I'm sure like someone with I know someone's probably if there's anyone in the comments at all, like they'll probably be saying like, that's a terrible comparison, you can't say that, but like to this, but I mean, I'm sure it would make a anorexic person very happy to get like to take medicine on to not be fat, or to take or to like get like liposuction so they have less fat, or whatever. Like I'm sure it would make them happier to not to like to I would sure make them happier to get affirming surgeries affirming what they believe, but that's not always going to help somebody doing that, right? Like y'all understand, like if something's not true, right? And someone believes something that isn't true, affirming their belief isn't necessarily going to help them, right? And so the question now would be, is trans identity valid? Can a man become a woman, or can a woman become a man? That is the question, and this all boils down to like, what is a woman basically, or what is a man, and can somebody become that? That's basically what this all boils down to here, right? So and those are the essential questions here. So
Fixing, and this would have still remained.
Yeah.
my goodness, I'm 2 minutes and 24 seconds in. Funnily enough, last time I said this was when it was 1 minute and 24 seconds in. That's funny.
If you don't know, autogynephilia is love of oneself as a woman. It is inverted heterosexuality. It is a sexuality, a sexual orientation that causes you to be attracted to femininity as a heterosexual male, but also it causes you to be attracted to yourself becoming feminized.
Trans women get turned on seeing themselves in a feminine setting, being a woman, and femininity. So does that mean all trans women are lesbians? What about the straight trans women?
I don't know.
What about trans?
Okay, they're going by the logic of like, okay, a man who wants to become a woman is a woman, so basically they're a lesbian because they're attracted themselves. But like, I think this guy's going through probably like he said heterosexual male, so basically he's saying that he's attracted to himself being like a woman, right, or being feminine, right? So this doesn't okay, like this wouldn't apply to like actual biological women. This would apply to biological men, I think. This is like a mistaken like category or something, like mistaking like the category of a person by saying, well, technically they're a woman, so basically this is like they're lesbian now. But this guy's going by different logic, so it's not like, I'm not sure like they're seeing what both of them are saying, because they're both coming from their different perspectives and stuff. So
Trans women that only like men. Or, I mean, obviously the argument makes no sense either way. Even if you...
what do you mean? Okay, let's go back on.
That only like men. Or, I mean, straight trans women.
I don't
What
know.
about trans women that only like men? Or...
What do you know about them? Like, they think, okay, like, he's just saying, like, there's a heterosexual male that at the same time of liking women, likes them, and likes traditional femininity, also likes the idea of themselves being feminine and a woman, right? I mean, but, like, that's not saying that they're attracted to, I guess, like, if they're attracted to men, right, that could just be, like, they could just be attracted to, like, I don't know, like, I don't think it's a bad argument, because I don't think he's saying that all trans people have this, though. Maybe he is, but, like, I mean, this is maybe just, like, a big, I mean, I personally think this is just, like, a thing that, I mean, it's one of the many things that it could be for a trans person, right? Of why someone might identify as trans. I think this could be the case for F1nn5ter. I mean, if I can't say whether it's sexual for F1nn5ter, but I can say that it seems to me is like F1nn5ter. My speculation is that F1nn5ter like ends up just really either feeling comfortable dressing as a woman, or just likes the experience, or likes some part of it. So he's like, maybe I'm a woman or something, or maybe I'm trans, and then he's just like, okay, I'm gonna become trans now or something. I don't know.
I mean, obviously the argument makes no sense either way. Even if you are like a hardcore lesbian trans woman, it does not make sense.
So it's attractive.
Hardcore lesbian trans woman. Okay, so you mean like a trans woman that's so basically you mean like a trans identified male that's attracted to woman? Because we're using different terms here. That's the thing. We're using different terms here, which it makes it like okay, which like without that knowledge, we would just be talking past each other. I know what they mean by trans woman, but it kind of confuses things when they're talking about like okay, well, so a lesbian trans woman. Well, that just means like a trans woman that's attracted to women, which could include men too, which could include biological males that identify as women, right? So technically, it could be a gay male, or it could be a straight male when you say a lesbian trans woman or something. So, I mean, and that's the thing. It's just it confuses things when you use different terms, right?
To femininity and envy of femininity, such that you want to also be feminine yourself. That is driving the majority of trans identification and trans.
So you envy femininity and you want to like be feminine. So like, okay, let's see.
Today.
The majority?
The majority.
Holy shit.
You want to also be feminine yourself. That is driving
Yeah.
the majority of trans identification and trans women today.
The majority?
He's saying the majority of he's making the claim that the majority of trans women he's making the majority of men identifying as women is because they feel themselves. It's because they envy femininity because they have autogynephobia. I don't know if he's saying they have autogynephobia in this sense, but like in this particular instance. But I think he's at least saying, of course, like they envy femininity and they want to be feminine, right? So basically, I think at the very least what he's saying is like, okay, most of the reason why trans women, most reason why trans identified males identifying as trans, I'm saying the same thing over again, but like, is because that they like femininity and they want to be feminine. So basically, it's because they're a feminine male or they have some feminine feature of some kind, perhaps. I mean, I think that would make sense. Why a lot because I've also heard like I think the argument that like basically I've heard from like a debate I was listening to at work one time like that a woman is someone who identifies with the stereotypical what is stereotyped with typically stereotyped with adult biological females, right? And that's what a woman is. Someone who identifies with those stereotypes, I think. So that's not the exact wording, but like it's something like I think what I heard. So it's basically the point. But so okay, back to this point anyway. Back to this. I mean, I think it's quite like basically this has to do with this in the sense of like okay, so basically trans males, right? If the trans person is truly like somebody who identifies with stereotypes with femininity, basically, right? Because femininity is typically associated with women, right? But not all women are totally feminine. I mean, there's different levels of femininity, but if femininity is if being a trans woman means a male who identifies with femininity, then this would be true, would it not? That like basically to be trans, you would be a male that is feminine, and so you would like femininity in some way, like you would have attraction to it, or you would be not necessarily sexual attraction, but some kind of attraction to femininity. You would like it in some way, or you would envy it, or something like that. I mean, that would make sense, would it not? Of course, I don't know what Icky's or Finster's definition of woman is, and I would certainly like to hear it because I would certainly like to know how coherent it is, or how much it makes sense or not. Or how logical it is, but anyway, let's continue.
The majority.
Holy shit.
That is what's driving it. Envy.
So I'm going to share a video from this really popular.
Call me popular.
So Icky is the girlfriend of also another huge trans content creator, Finster. So Finster.
So this is the girlfriend. He's technically boyfriend because they're both men, biological males. But he is using he is basically calling them women. He's using those pronouns, but he's still basically he still has a point to make though, but he's probably just doing it for like the sake of argument or just for the sake of like just talking to trans people, right, or reaching out to them, perhaps. I don't know why he's doing it, but speculation.
And then, he also, got indoctrinated and groomed into the trans pipeline. So now
Did you groom me?
Why me? Why would
I
it be
don't think
me?
he's saying that Icky groomed him, but like, maybe they did. I don't know, but I did see Icky in some of his older videos, like not super old videos, but maybe like a year ago or something. Maybe even I don't remember if I seen Icky in his videos before he became trans, but anyway, let's just continue, because okay, how long has this video been going on? I know this is a long video. It's been going on for 25 minutes, and I've reacted to 3 minutes and 50 seconds of this, bro. Oh my goodness, bro. This is
Why
gonna be a
did
doozy.
I groom you?
I don't know. We met.
You were on HRT when we
I can't
met.
believe you did this to me.
and sooner or later, it's probably going to be like the full blown binary, I am a woman. I've always been a woman type thing. So,
Bro, Asher, pull up the clip of me on live stream really recently of me verbatim saying,
if I talk to someone about like transitioning and stuff, like I'm gonna say like, oh, I don't really feel like that or something. Like they'll go like, I know I've always felt like a woman for my like entire life and everything. I always had this like sort of feeling in the back of my head. I ain't got that shit at all.
StreamYard.com is sharing.
Okay, so basically, Finster did not always feel like a woman. So that might actually go further into like proving what I'm like. It's not like a ton of proof, but like might go further than proving my theory of Finster like ended up liking, like, dressed as a woman for so long that he ended up kind of liking it, and ended up kind of wanting to be a woman himself, right? In some way, I don't know if it's sexual or not. I can't say that. I don't know. Like, I don't want to be making like assumptions that are like just like that kind of assumption, like before I even really know anything like that. I don't want to be like, the Finster. I don't want to be accusing Finster of like, being an autogynephile, But like, I'm just like speculating here.
Your screen and audio. Would you like to hide this message? Yeah, maybe, man. I'm trying to react to your content, make it watchable.
Yes, you already know that you are trans. You already know.
that is indoctrination.
What?
Oh, you already know that you're trans. I don't know if it's okay. I think he's going a little bit far. I think he's coming from his perspective and like maybe going like, okay, well, I know. Maybe he's saying that. Well, he knows that what kind of things trans people say to indoctrinate people. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it doesn't like immediately scream, this is indoctrination to me. But maybe it is. Maybe because like I guess it is kind of like Icky, like putting what he thinks out on the internet and like basically saying, well, this is how, like, you already know that you're trans. I don't know what's in the videos really, so let's see.
Indoctrinated.
For any possible person who's trans identified, there exists a counterfactual possible world such that you could run the clock back in time, and that person could have managed their gender dysphoria, managed their gender confusion without taking on the trans identity.
I think he's just saying there's another way. There are other ways to treating gender dysphoria or to treating autogynephilia or whatever the heck, like it's whatever the heck is causing it, right? Other than physically changing your body to match what you want to be, right? And I think that could be true, because I don't think there's a lot of research on alternate solutions. It's mainly just what's been mainly pushed in the media is, well, if you feel like a woman, then you gotta transition. That's the way to fix your gender dysphoria, is to transition. And you hear a lot from people that if you don't allow somebody to physically transition that has gender dysphoria, then they'll end up offing themselves and they'll hold you emotionally they'll basically have like do the emotional hostage thing of saying, if you don't let them do this, they'll do something bad to themselves, or they'll hurt themselves if you don't do this, or if you don't, I mean, and it's just holding people emotionally hostage. So it's not like I don't think it's an honest technique here.
It's like, there's a whole lot of nothing in it.
That's just yapping. It's proven that you cannot like therapy away being trans.
How is it proven that? Like, what proof is there? What proof is there even? How many like studies do you think there is? How many articles do you think there are about alternate solutions to people to transitioning, right? Alternate solutions to gender dysphoria. How many do you think there are? Because I'm gonna tell you that all I really see in the media is to transition. And if there are solutions, right? If there are like articles about this, they mostly don't get much attention because you don't see that that stuff in the media. You certainly don't see the leftist media covering it, or I don't think you even see the right media covering that stuff either that much. So, I mean, if you're referring to like, okay, I know this is probably gonna get like a little note on my video, but if you're talking about like conversion therapy, I mean, I don't know what goes on in there, but that might not even be like the alternate solution. I mean, you might have like, I don't know, like there could be alternate solutions out there. Like there could be like medicine to like that will like make hormone balances in your brain, because maybe you have like a hormone imbalance in your brain, and so that's why you feel a certain way or you feel uncomfortable in your body, and maybe it's not because you're trans and you need to transition right away now. I mean, but or you need to hurt I mean, so I don't think it's just because of like, I don't think it's just like, obviously like I said, I don't think it's just because it's one thing. It's just because of one thing. I think it's because of like, it could be many things, which I think also would mean that transitioning won't solve all these problems. I would think transitioning would only solve may only solve one of these problems, if not zero, if not none of them. Because what I've heard is, from what I heard, I may have seen statistics on this, but I don't remember if the statistics were shown, or like if it's talking about. But I've heard from a video. Okay, to keep in mind, take this with a grain of salt, because I heard this from like some video or whatever, that even after transitioning, right, the amount of like the amount of like, I forgot what it was. I think it was like amount of like offing of themselves, or at least, or I think of mental illness or whatever it was, some kind of okay, I think the happiness did not decline, really. I think the happiness stayed I forgot what it was. Dang it, I forgot what it was. But like basically whatever it was, it didn't improve even after the transition, like even after transitioning and stuff. So like, but I forgot what it exactly was. My apologies, you guys. I wish I could have like the statistics for you guys. But anyway, let's continue.
Why would I have done that? Because I went with the difficult route of like, maybe I'll transition, and now I'm happy.
Well, you're wrong, babe.
Because there's no objective, true, perfect, objective, clinical diagnostic.
Clinical. Okay, let's go back here on.
No objective, true, perfect, objective, clinical diagnostic that will clearly say that this is a true transsexual and this is just a gender non-conforming person.
Okay, that's a very interesting point, because what he's saying is, I think, basically that there's no way, like with the modern definition of being trans, with the modern standards of being trans, there's no way to know, or with the modern like idea of how to know if someone's trans, or like there's no way to really prove that. There's no way to really prove that you're trans, or that you, like, whether you're actually trans, or if it's like actually like someone who just likes femininity and just like is a feminine man or a feminine woman or something. I think he's saying like with the modern definition of woman just being like generally, a lot of people say it's a woman is someone who identifies as a woman. Being a circular definition, it's unfalsifiable, and so there's really no way to actually prove whether that's like whether someone. Also, even if it was like not that, if it was like, okay, so if someone who identifies like as with femininity, even if it was that definition, right? Like, how can you prove that someone identifies with that, right? Like, how can you prove that someone identifies as a woman? How do you verify that? Like, they could just, like, you realize that people could just lie, right? And it leaves a possibility, an opening for people to just lie about that. And this is where, like, the concern about men's going to women's bathrooms comes in, the trans people in women's bathrooms, because I mean, sure, there could be an honest trans person that's like, well, I really think I'm a woman, and I just really, like, I really just like femininity, I just want to be a woman, or like I think I'm a woman, I think that's how things work, but it at least still leaves the possibility open for some big buff dude to go in and say, well, I identify as a woman, or I like femininity, but I just haven't transitioned yet, or I just haven't gotten the women's clothes yet. You basically, it makes it really easy to just lie and get in women's bathrooms, and so people who don't have good intentions can go in there and take advantage of women, right? And I mean, not to say that all trans people, or even a majority of trans people, are like this and actually have bad intentions going in the women's bathroom. I don't think most of them have a bad intention going in the women's bathroom, but I do think there have been a bit of instances where this has happened, though. So I do think that that's part of like the risk, and as well as with men and women's sports, biological males are physically stronger on average than biological women. So I mean, even transitioning, there are still some things that I think remain there. That's like, okay, this person is like a biological male that transitions to woman it has an advantage. I still think so.
Sitting next to each other.
What is a true transsexual? I'm running out. I need a
See, like, what is a true transsexual? Like, you're proving his point. Like, what is one? What makes somebody truly transgender? Right? How do you know?
list.
You're the true ones.
AGP, true transsexual.
And obviously, I've already made a video about this. How do I know that I'm trans? How do you know that you are trans? How does anybody know?
So here's the question that's going to be answered here. Okay, let's see if this question is going to be answered here, and if so, how well.
It's easy. Don't worry. Your girlfriend will tell you.
Make a joke about it.
It's Finsta. So your girlfriend will tell you. Okay, no.
This is
Damn it, he let that one
That could have been
pass.
such a good dig.
God damn. He's able to recognize
1
humor.
point. He gets 1 point for that.
the key.
That was Finster, by the way. And basically, he just admitted that this Icky, his girlfriend, like, groomed him into trans identification.
All right.
I wouldn't say that's exactly. I mean, it could indicate that, but like, I mean, there is a lot of like, I think, encouragement to become trans from like the communities and everything. Like you'll have the LGBT people like, as soon as you say you're trans or might be questioning it, they'll accept you right away and they'll go, oh my gosh, that's so amazing, and so I mean, basically they want. I think it's fair to say like at least a okay portion of them maybe, or a good portion of them like will at least support you in that before they even like without even knowing any of like the effects of maybe physically transitioning or even knowing your condition, they'll automatically accept you and say, okay, this is good, you should become trans, or like, oh yes queen, or whatever. They'll go like that without even like a second thought, like because they equate with like affirming people in how they feel with being kind and respectful, when I would say that lying to somebody isn't exactly super kind and respectful all the time. I mean, maybe it is in certain senses where like, okay, if you're like helping somebody out by like maybe saving someone's life by lying, then that might be good. I mean, that's like a topic for another time, perhaps. But anyway, let's continue.
Never mind. Point taken away.
How do these people who spend so long brain rotting about trans people not understand?
Okay, so are you just using brain rotting and saying like, okay, well, these people don't have any points? Just dismissing his point by saying there's just brain rotting about trans people. Like, do you even have an actual response to this? Do you even have like an actual logical argument against this?
What a joke is, and like the reason.
I guess it is a joke, but it can still implement things. I think like jokes can still do that.
That you made that joke is because of people like him.
Yeah.
Like that's why it's funny, because some people say that. And it's so absurd that it can become a joke in a video.
The element of that video that I only mentioned briefly, which is that you already know. In the question of am I or am I not trans?
No, you don't. You could just be a gender non-conforming man who has autogynephilia.
I could, but I'm not. I could also be a fucking chicken, but I'm not. I get that he's not talking about me specifically. He's talking about my wider point to the audience. And I'm giving him too much credit. He is trying to say that there is nuance to this. Not everybody who watches that video is probably going to be trans or something, right?
It'd be very different if you came into this and you were like, you're trans.
Well, the issue is also like, even if transgender ideology is valid, right? Like, there's still like there's so like the bar is so low in some cases to enough people to like to a lot of people where like basically just being trans like it's so low that you don't even have to really like, there's no way to verify it, right? And that's like the issue. It's like really hard to verify, or just you can't really verify it. You can't say, okay, well, this person, like in the brain this is the case or something, or like I guess there is like the argument of like sex brain, like gendered brains, or like sex souls. There's different arguments like that, but I recognize that the only definition, or the only way to... I recognize all different arguments other than just like, okay, well, a woman is someone who identifies as a woman. I understand that, like, I know. But I do think a lot of people do still accept that a woman is who identifies as a woman, because a lot of people don't like go into the more deeper parts of it and actually figuring out what defining as a woman actually means and what a woman actually is. But
trans. I don't care if you
Yeah.
don't think you are. You're transgender.
So the thing that the video I'm making is for people who are really considering that they might be trans. You know, I'm saying they already know because there are a section of people who already know. That's what the whole Egg IRL subreddit is. That's who this video is for. It's for people that already know but make jokes that they're not because of whatever reason, right?
Yeah.
Anyone watching the video has as much agency as I do as a person. So if they're not trans and they watch this, they will simply move on.
You don't have to take on the trans identity. You don't have to say that there's this mismatch between your body and your identity.
But what if there is?
What if there is? Well, like, how would you know if there is? Like, what? How would you know that there's a disconnect between your body and your identity? And how would identifying as like differently than what your body, but your biological, like what your biology says? How would that actually make you something different, right? Like, if I think that I'm a black person, right? My biology doesn't say that. My biology says I have like European heritage, right? And my body says that I have like doesn't say that I have African heritage, right? And yet, like that's what my biology says, and yet, if identity mismatches with that, and I identify as a black person, maybe because I like the culture, or identify with the black culture or something, that doesn't all of a sudden make me black. Like that doesn't make like I know these aren't like the exact same thing, but the point is it's an analogy. It's not supposed to be the same thing, so.
You don't have to claim that you were born in the wrong body. You don't have to claim that you're transing
You
anything.
don't have to do anything. You do not have to pay taxes. You do not have to. You do not have to go to the doctor when you feel ill.
Okay, now Icky's just taking it to extremes. Like, well, you don't have to pay taxes at all. Like, you don't have to pay taxes. I mean, no, but you're supposed to. But that's not like I don't see the point. I don't see how that logically has to do with what logically has to like. I don't see how like specifically mentioning taxes in this has to do with this. I don't think it's the best comparison, but I kind of get what Icky's saying. Like, you don't have to technically do anything. Like, but I think what he's saying is like, because a lot of people are like encouraging people to like identify as trans if there are if people like either feel a certain way or like are maybe showing certain whatever signs or whatever people say they show, then or something like that. Then like they encourage them to like identify as trans and stuff. So I mean I think that's his point. Like you don't have to do that. You can just be you don't have to go with what everyone's saying. If you can just be yourself, which might just be like a male who just likes femininity, or a feminine male. Like you don't like you could just be a femboy, right, or a tomboy if you're a girl, right? It doesn't mean that you're trans, just because you are feminine or masculine and stuff. Just because you don't conform with gender stereotypes doesn't make you suddenly a different sex. It doesn't make you a different gender. That doesn't. I guess it depends on the definition of gender, but like it doesn't change your biology depending on depending on like how gender conforming you are. It doesn't change those things.
But sometimes it's the right decision. You don't have to take antibiotics when you have an infection. But sometimes it's the right thing to do. You don't have to be possessed to get in your little...
Okay, then how then is transitioning, or how then is identifying as trans the right thing to do? Because you're making a claim. Like I think it's more like this is more like I guess it's like an ought claim, I guess, but like you should, like it's the right thing to do to identify as trans if like in certain circumstances. But what circumstances? Like what circumstances and how would you know? Like how can you verify that person's trans, right?
In your dungeon and make this video about a trans creator, but sometimes you do.
This dungeon looks a lot nicer than my dungeon, actually. This room's a mess.
His is sadder. Ours is...
Okay, after this ad, I might have to take a bathroom break, maybe.
Like this room's a mess.
His is sadder. Ours is
Messier.
barren.
Yeah.
Check how long the video's been.
You can
Oh my goodness, bro, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, here we go, hold on.
just say that you're a gender non-conforming male who has autogynephilia.
Imagine someone introducing themselves like that.
Hello, I'm a gender non-conforming male that has true. I don't know what the words mean, man.
I had to be like, Mom, I think that I'm gonna go to a gender specialist because I'm not sure about my identity. I think I might be trans.
Mom,
And-
I'm an autogun.
Yeah, right? Imagine going, Mom, I'm a gender non-conforming male with autogynephilia. Also,
God.
if autogynephilia is like a fetish, why would you introduce yourself like that? Like, hey, I'm foot fetish. Like, why would anybody do that?
Now, I don't want this to be like super inflammatory, and I also don't want it to be like, she's saying that you have to be trans and you can't express gender identity and you can't make mistakes. You definitely can, but I know that there is
Oh.
gender identity and you can't make mistakes. You definitely can, but I know that there is gender identity. Like, she's saying that you have to be trans and you can't express gender identity and you can't make mistakes. You definitely.
Okay, so basically, I think what Icky's saying in this video, I guess it's like, okay, you can be wrong, like you can actually just be gender non-conforming. So then, if you can be, then what makes you a trans person? What makes you a woman if you're a biological male? Like how do you know if you're a trans person rather than just like being gender non-conforming male?
Can, but I know that there is.
What's the bet that he completely ignores that? Because that answers this entire video,
Yeah.
by the way. Like,
But,
that one statement
Yeah.
makes everything he's said up until this point bullshit.
I mean, props to him for not editing that out.
There's a key difference.
He's
between
locked in.
exploring and
Like, look at his face when he's like watching.
figuring out what's right.
The front on, like, he's locked in.
This is just like me playing Minecraft at 3 a.m.
Like, I don't mind being a guy, but as a woman, I'm actually happy and I've experienced joy for the first time ever.
Okay, so does that mean but just being happy, identifying with femininity or trying to identify as being a woman, as being happy when doing that, does that what makes you a woman? Does that make you a woman? Like, is being happy, like, I mean, like, what makes you a woman though? Like, this all boils down to that. Like, what is a woman, or how can you be a different sex or gender, right?
Usually they're talking about euphoria boners,
What?
I'm gonna let him finish.
Okay.
which is that
Because
that
okay.
trans joy that
Keep in mind this person was like, I think is a detransitioner too, so he has experience in the field here. So I mean, of course, this may not always apply to every trans person. Obviously, it's not going to apply to every trans person. Like, might apply to these two. So that might be why they're going like, what is going on? But like, this could be like, this is likely an actual thing because I mean, it's coming from a detransitioner here, supposedly anyway.
like euphoria, that stems from the autogynephilic novelty and
Like,
excitement.
he's talking about people who specifically have autogynephilia, like the trans people that have autogynephilia, not necessarily like every trans person necessarily. So.
That comes
Like, I think he did say that was most, but I don't think he didn't say it was all. I think he said it was most. So
from living out your sexual orientation, from engaging in your sexuality. It is a sexual joy. It is a sexual excitement in almost all cases.
Okay, so much to unpack. Almost all insane. First of all, this so very much feels like all men or all women are like this when it was just you.
They're talking about euphoria boners. I said joy. I said experience joy. Is that the only joy this guy has?
I know when I get a boner, I think I'm finally happy for the first time in my life.
I don't know anybody that's experienced something joyful in their life that has got a boner.
I hate having to not be able to walk around like parks or something, or just be out in the sunshine, or
Yeah.
earn money.
Having a
or...
really good day. And
Yeah, you can't like. It just sucks. It's just so in the way.
I do think, okay, I do criticism of, I guess, of that guy's video. He is making a lot of sweeping, almost like generalizations here. He's making like pretty big generalizations by saying like, well, almost all, and he's not bringing any statistics to the table. But like, I mean, this might. I don't know if he did say it was his opinion before, but like, I think that, I mean, it could be true, but like, we don't have any I don't have any statistics for that, so I don't know if that's true or not. So.
My answer was gonna be, I've never got a boner in my life.
I'm gonna do something risky right here, and I'm gonna entertain the idea slightly. Okay, I know in the very early stages of understanding your identity, you can get a testosterone-based excitement because your brain, as a man, is struggling with the kind of the joy versus sex aspect of things, right? And that is a very nuanced situation. Doesn't happen to
So, gynephilia? Question mark.
everybody. It is something that would go away so fast, right? Because you would very quickly learn transitioning would be extremely boring. I even talk in this video later about doing boring
Okay, so it is kind of like a mini fantasy you have, I think. For some trans people, it's like, I guess is what like Icky's saying, it's like a mini fantasy that you have, that you think that being transgender, you think that it's going to be such a great experience. You think that, okay, oh my goodness, that I'm going to be like a woman, and then, you know, you might kind of fantasize about stuff like that. So that seems like what it like might boil down to. But like Icky said, apparently it goes away pretty quick. I mean,
things to know that it definitely isn't something sexual, just
Yeah.
in case. The way that people accept these thoughts in their brain is by sort of compartmentalizing it as a fetish, because society is more accepting of fetishes than they
Yeah.
are of trans people.
A lot, like the force
I mean, are they now? I mean, maybe, but like, I mean, I don't accept trans, like the trans, I guess, trans people, I guess, accepting trans people, like, it depends on, like, what that would mean, but, like, I mean, accepting them as a person, and as, like, an actual person, and, like, another person, like, fine, I'll do that, obviously, like, I don't see, like, anything wrong with, obviously, accepting a trans person as a person, like that seems obvious to me, but accepting the ideology, the idea that a man can become a woman, like, I don't think this really, I just don't think that makes any sense. I just think that it's illogical, that a man can't become a woman. I just don't think that's possible.
femme thing is like a bigger thing in the trans community, because it's like it takes your agency away from you making this like societally damaging decision of like transitioning.
Right. Yeah, because like people like go through so much shit to transition by their family and friends and politically that in some cases it's easier to just be like, nope, this isn't real. It's just a silly little thing.
It's a bit.
It's a bit, so I get my big boner.
Because we already know that they said they're not unhappy being a guy. They just get a lot of thrills when they cross-dress or put on makeup or, you know, wear...
I think that's still reading into it. I think that's reading into it a little bit. Like, I think it's like, I don't think that just because someone's like says they're happy, like they're happier being a woman than a man, even though they find being a man, I don't think that automatically means, oh my god, I feel this person gets sexually attracted to like gets sexually turned on by the idea of being a woman more than being a man. Like, I don't think that automatically means that, but I mean, it's still a possibility, but I just don't think that you should automatically say, well, that's obviously what it is.
Panties or...
Bro, smile too big.
I know, he's making it weird here.
Wear panties or like start sweating
Or like send me pictures in my DMs at this Twitter account.
or like little skirts, or like they wear like bras under their white t-shirts when they film YouTube videos.
It's all stemming from an underlying satisfaction of one's sexual desires and the satisfaction of one's underlying erotic drives.
I was getting laid before I transitioned, right? I'm gonna be very open about this.
Brag about it.
I will brag. I don't think one day I decided, like, you know what I'm missing? Sexual satisfaction of legally turning into a woman.
Just like a gay guy who's living his truth, living his, you know, living out his sexual orientation, that brings joy and euphoria when you're living your truth, living your sexuality. It's
Okay, so basically, well, I mean, it could also just apply to like living, like not having to like suppress things anymore, like not having to like act like you're not, like for a gay person, like maybe like act like not being able to like be free and not actually be free in a certain sense, I guess, but like, and like not acting and not like suppressing their sexuality, but like, and this might be with trans people, like not actually suppressing their belief, right, or their thought that they are a woman, and so basically they're just letting their I guess their whatever it is, I guess their belief and opinion, you know, and instead of like suppressing it and saying, well, or instead of trying to like conform to, well, maybe this has to do with gender norms and like gender stuff, like saying instead of like I'm gonna wear what I want, and now it could have to do with like wearing what they want, and instead of like having to face the societal stigma of like wearing different clothes for my gender, I'm gonna do that anyway. I'm gonna like be free, or whatever that means, like, and I'm going to like, I don't know. And maybe that has to do with that, like, being feeling the freedom of being gender non-conforming, and not having to like suppress that. Maybe, I don't know.
It's the same exact thing with autogynephilia. You're living the truth of your sexuality, and you're living it without shame, and that brings joy and happiness.
Wait, so being trans is a sexuality?
I also don't think it's specifically only autogynephilia. This could have to do with like other things as well. I don't think it's like specifically. Well, it must be autogynephilia of all these things, obviously, because I mean I don't think he's bringing any like he's not really using any points or nuance to prove that, or using any logic or like statistics or anything to prove that. So
Not an identity.
Hmm.
Does that mean you're always horny?
I want to be always horny.
And brings joy and happiness.
Wait, so being trans as a sexuality is not an identity.
Hmm.
Does that mean you're always horny?
Well, technically, a sexuality is an identity, kind of like being black is an identity. It's just like you can't really identify as being white if you're black, though, because it's like an immutable part of you, perhaps. Like it's like it without in a sense, like, but being trans, like that's something that you can. It's like a belief, though, or whatever. It's like it's not really super well defined, so it's like but also sexuality is an identity as well, like part of your identity, like being gay is an identity, but like and such. But I don't think it's like an immutable part of your identity, though. It might not be, but because like you could still be you and not be gay or whatever and stuff. So I would think so.
I want to be always horny all the time.
Like what happens
same,
like
but
when
still.
I'm just chilling on my own watching TV?
You have a giant euphoria boner.
Right. Okay. I forget.
I don't want to not one of these ads on my which is it's one of those. It's one of these. Hold on. What the what? Oh my goodness, bro! What the heck, bro? What is this, bro? That's a crazy ad right there.
Giant euphoria boner.
Right. Okay. I forget.
I don't know if I'm trans. How do I know if I'm trans? Being trans is very, very complicated. There's no particular box that you have to tick. So I understand that.
Okay, so there's no actual definition to being trans then. Being trans means nothing because there's no specific thing that will make you trans. Like as he said, Icky said, there is no particular box you have to tick. So there is nothing in specific that makes you trans. So then why even identify as that if it doesn't even mean anything? It basically is meaningless then.
Because there's no objective, diagnostic, clinical definition.
Yes, there are medical guidelines, even if you don't like them.
Well, what Icky said though, there's no box you have to tick. I mean, and now Vince is contradicting that and saying, well, there are medical guidelines, but also guidelines don't necessarily mean like on a part of like guidelines aren't the same thing as like a specific requirement. Guidelines are guidelines, you know.
Ass review is one.
Yeah.
There are medical
like,
guidelines.
even if you don't like the fact that
The
there
WPATH guidelines are standards of care for trans people. There's things there's specific things you meet to get diagnosed with gender incongruence, which might be shitty, but there are.
There are specific criteria.
Why would it be crappy? Why would it be that? Like, I mean, maybe he's just saying they're bad, or maybe like just because they're not accurate, or maybe he's saying that they just suck to have to go through to get treatment. I don't know.
For all kinds of conditions, right?
Yeah.
And the only way that they get treated is you ask the patient tells you, and then they go, all right, cool. Like physical things that are just internal, that you can't see. It's more about like...
Well, there's MRIs, so you can see it. It's just, like, let's say you've got cancer, right? I mean, like, you can say that you have discomfort here and you think it's cancer, but that doesn't make you have cancer. Maybe it could be something else. But then the doctor gives you, like, an MRI, or they'll give you, like, an x-ray, and then they'll see if you have cancer. And if you do have cancer, they'll treat it. So it's a little more than just, okay, I think I have this, and then, okay, the doctor goes, okay, I'll treat you. Like, that would be medical malpractice. Like, that, you'd have to diagnose it first. Like, you'd have to actually, like, you would take them at the word in the sense of okay, well, I'm going to trust that you're saying that you actually have an issue, or that you actually have something going on, that you actually have that pain you're talking about, and let's see what that pain is, or if it's actually what you think it is, right? And so it's a little different than that. So
How much pain are you experiencing? Or or brain fog or a ton of different things, right? Unless it's like a broken arm, it relies on asking a person, the person telling you, making a diagnosis.
Yeah.
That's being trans.
You'd see if they have a broken arm. Like, what can you see? What is there observable that makes you trans though? Like, I still haven't gotten this entire video. What makes you trans? What makes it so, okay, this person is actually a trans person and not somebody who's just gender non-conforming, right? What makes them trans, you know?
You don't even need a diagnosis, obviously, because...
Sorry for the hammering in the background if you can hear that.
This is hard to watch.
Yeah.
This is hard to watch.
Yeah, I'm hard.
There's no...
Obviously, because
Yeah.
that's being trans. You don't even need a diagnosis, obviously, because...
So you don't even need a diagnosis. So basically they're saying, like, you don't even need to be diagnosed even to be considered trans. Like, you just... Like, well, then what makes you trans then? Like, it's just... The question keeps popping up. What is it?
This is hard to watch.
Yeah, I'm hard.
There's no there's no substantive essential difference between the two. It's just a matter of whether or not you take on certain narratives, certain self-descriptors. This is
I'm sorry, I have to...
We did not get very far.
No, I have to... But do you remember, like, back in the day, it might still be a thing, but like...
He's saying if you take on self-description, he's basically saying if you identify as... If you want to identify, if you want to take on the self-description of being a woman, that makes you a woman. Like, he's basically saying that... Or he's basically making the argument, like, he's just saying that trans people say... Like, to be trans is basically just... They're just saying that you just have to identify as being a woman, basically. Just that... Or something like that, you know? Like, identify with, like... Or certain descriptors to make you... Or maybe, like certain things like femininity to be like, that means you trans.
There used to be an NHS guideline for getting diagnosed, which used to be like, do you get hard wearing like women's clothes? Like,
I've never heard of that.
I don't think...
That thing?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't think that's a good guideline because, like, that's like a sexuality thing, and that's not like... I don't think that would mean... Now, I don't think that, you know, like, getting a boner would make, like, in women's clothes would automatically make you a woman. I don't think... Because, like, would an actual biological woman get excited if, like, by being in, like, in women's clothes? Like, does that make her... Is that what makes her a woman? Like, I'll tell you one thing, a woman most likely wouldn't get a boner, I'll tell you that, so...
I'm not sure if it exists still. There was, at one point, doctors would use that to diagnose it, and then they got rid of it because they realized that
doesn't make any fucking sense.
That doesn't make any fucking
Exactly, it doesn't.
sense.
Most people would say no.
So, there were guidelines.
So they're basically admitting that if you do have autogynephilia, that does not make you a woman. That does not make you trans. You're not trans if you have autogynephilia, necessarily. Or just because you have autogynephilia doesn't make you trans.
Like, what he's asking for existed for a time, and then they went, oh, wait, that isn't, like, that doesn't make sense. A group of doctors got together and went, the thing that he's saying makes no goddamn sense.
Yeah.
I think that if
He's not saying that like being trans means you have to have autogynephilia. He's saying that most like trans people have autogynephilia and they're not actually trans. So they're actually making his point for him. They're not even disproving his point here.
you expect
So actually I'm actually gonna end the video here because it's this video has been going on for, my goodness, an hour and 3 minutes. This is another hour-long video. I hope you guys really enjoy this. I really do. This video would be so long if I doesn't do the whole thing. This would be part 1 of part 2. So I ended on 16 minutes and 18 seconds. Let's see here. The truth about trans people. By Icky. I'm taking a note here. Response. Okay, there we go. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. Tell me if you guys agree with my takes or Icky and F1nn5ter's takes or this guy Ray's takes. But this is basically a reaction to a... Funny thing is, this is a reaction to a reaction. or a response to a response to a response to to a video of Icky's. So that's funny. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day, guys. God bless you. Like the video if you haven't already. If you like the video, and please subscribe if you're new, and if you like my videos as well. I would love to see you on my team. I don't know what I should call my subscribers. I don't have a name for that yet. But please leave in the comments down below if you watch this far in the video, what the name should be for my subscribers. You know, because like Joe Barlow's got the Bart farts. You know, you got like I don't know. You know, like there's like I don't know. YouTubers should have names for their subscribers and stuff. So. And like Logan Paul has the Logang and stuff. So I mean they've all got like their names for that. So what should I name my subscribers? Tell me down below what you guys think. And anyway, God bless y'all. Have a great day. Over and out. Bye.